All right, welcome back to Black Lodge Trivia Night, doing some Lord of the Rings online. Man, this is going to be part 7, although I will say part 6 has not gone up at the time of this recording or this stream. Part 6 is going to go up tomorrow. And in part 6, you didn't miss much. I basically kept falling short in terms of levels for book quests, so I just did some side stuff until I was able to get where I needed to get back onto the book quest. So currently, let me just open up all the all the endorphin hits really quickly. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. So we're here in the Trollshaws. We're doing book 4, chapter 2. The mission, basically book 4 is going to, volume 1, book 4 is going to involve tracking down a lost Black Rider. So, you know, if you know the stories of the movies, like, you know, they're trying to cross the river gets sort of brought to life, engulfs them, sweeps them away. The gist of this is that they basically accounted for 8 of them. One of them's out of pocket, so to speak. Broken Arrow, to borrow the title of the fine John Travolta film. And so we're going to now figure out where this person ended up. So the quest, you know, I just looked at, find some sign of the missing Nazgul. If you find yourself without a full fellowship, you may. Okay, so this is meant to be a fellowship quest. I'm solo, obviously. It's not a big deal. But let me see something really quickly. Just want to make sure most of the screen's getting recorded. Everything, you know, this game is sort of weird. I've probably said this before. Yeah, it looks like it's okay. I'm playing in a windowed mode. It's 1440p because I like the monitor I have for actual work, for gaming, for streaming in particular. It's a little rougher. So we're gonna, and so when I set up the stream, the resolution doesn't quite match a 1440p stream, so I just sort of have to tweak things a bit. That's neither here nor there. Let's see where we're trying to go. So we have to check these places sort of in the southern half of the Trollshaws. And we'll go from there. Now, I'm wondering if these quests were always just sort of above these creatures, or if they started like saying, you know, you don't need to go talk to people to start the quest. Start killing the things that they're going to ask you to kill. So it looks like, can we want to get here? I don't know if this is a trail that comes off of there. I don't know if I have to go down and around to get there, or if we can just sort of hit the road west and go cross country. Wonder. Turn down the brightness a little bit. I don't know if it actually makes any difference. It makes a difference to my being able to see the screen, but I don't know if the camera then just sort of auto-adjusts to count for it so that what you see is the same regardless, but oh well. So yeah, what I'm sort of fearing is that there's just like these cliff walls along the road that are going to keep us from being able to cut through this way, but we'll see how it goes. Eventually we're going to hit the road leading to that camp. So like I was saying, this is part 7. Part 6 was spent mostly in Evendim, but I sort of checked out a few other areas just to, for the sake of checking out a few other areas, so to speak. I took a quick peek into Forest Shell, way up to the north, just because I like that area. What else did I do? It was mostly adventuring around Evendim, which is also another area that I like. The sort of, there's two main features to that area. One is the, okay. Okay, so the question is, how do I do this? Use the elf stone. This is a hot mess as always, so I'm not quite sure which elf stone they're talking about. I thought in the past you could just do it from the quest. But I'm not seeing that. Last time I had one of these, I ended up having to do the quest without the boost because I couldn't get it to work. What's this? I'm 20... Nope. There's a lot of garbage in my backpack that I need to thin out, but I just don't know if the elf stone is actually an item I have here in my bag. Can I make these bigger? No. I'm not seeing anything that's obvious, like, is this the elf stone? Alright. I don't know if it did anything. You know what, let me, just gonna put this here. Okay, there we go. You can see, I don't know if you can see, my health dropped. It was at 800. Now it's up to 3,700 because, again, that's going to boost me up to, I guess, fellowship strength. It's been a little while since I played, so I have a feeling that I'm going to forget most of. So I'm in the area. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to find some sign of the missing Nazgul. I'm not seeing... I'm just going to take this because I'm going to probably kill 10 of them anyway. Oh, there's a... Okay. Okay, they're level 75, so there's no way I'm supposed to actually deal with them. Collected the bridle of the black steed. Bring it back to Eladan. What I really need to do, though, is I need to kill 5 more of these guys. Okay, this should do it, though, at least. Kind of curious if there's another way out, because it seems to have lost the effect of the stone. Maybe I could turn it back on if I went back in that area, but... Now, if you're wondering if they're like the 3 petrified trolls that Gandalf, I think, got in The Hobbit, they are here. I don't know exactly where, but I know you can find them on the map. You can find them out in the world and see it. Now, I thought the trolls used to be elite. They look like signatures most of the time here, I think. Oh, not even that. They're... Maybe it's just in certain parts.
How can I be of service?
Your tale begins to fill in the puzzle for me, Black Lodge, and I think now I see what has happened. Caught between the remainder of Frodo's company and the raging of the Bruinen, the 9 were forced into the torrent, but one escaped in the chaos. Near death, his steed bore him through hidden channels into some place where, nearly formless, he gathered his strength. His horse he abandoned, and he vanished into the wild. Without his cloak, he would all but be invisible to us, a malice on the wind. If he takes onto himself again, it is only to give shape to his strength. That means he has survived the ordeal unharmed and will surely strike at us again. We are running out of time. Black Lodge. Oop. Let's see what we got going on. How are the pants? Ooh, the pants are pretty good. Taking the pants. Except I think I chose finish later.
Stay a moment.
Book 4, Chapter 3, The Wisdom of Lord Glorfindel. We know more than we did, Black Lodge, but we do not yet know what we must, for the safety of all those who live or journey in this region. The whereabouts of the missing Nazgul. His steed was our greatest ally in the search, for while he could remove his cloak and remain nearly unseen, his horse was a mortal creature, and its physical trail could be followed. With the creature now dead, either from exhaustion or at the Master's hand, our ability to track the Nazgul is lessened. Lessened but not gone, perhaps. I would ask you to return to Imladris and consult with Lord Glorfindel, for he is accounted very wise and may have some stratagem, which we have not yet tested. He keeps close counsel with my father and with Mithrandir, which I think is Gandalf. I think that's the elvish name for him. And often contemplates near the falling water by my father's house. Great. He may be able to help us find this missing Nazgul. Sounds good. So yeah, we're headed back to Rivendell, but first let me get rid of some stuff so that I can actually okay, so nope, let's get some inventory going. Character. Let's figure out some pants. Let's figure out some boots. What's this? Much better. Man, it is tough to track this stuff. I mean, I know I whined before. Again, it needs a UI update so this stuff could be scalable, etc., etc. Are these the boots? Yes. Okay, so let's start selling stuff. I don't know if I need any of this. I have definitely used healing potions, but I've never used the blue ones. I don't know if that's just like a lore master kind of thing, like a... It's something in other characters I've constantly held on to. Not quite there level-wise for these. So I'm going to hang on to them for now, even though probably by the time I can actually wear them, it won't be... God, look at all this crap. That's the thing, like, permanently, most of my inventory is taken up by... Can I destroy it? I have a feeling like a black key is something you gotta buy from the store or something like that. That's why I just don't care. Anyway, I can do that another time. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. And part of me feels guilty because that's how they make money, and I don't want to ignore the fact that, you know, they can't run this game for free.
What can I do for you?
At the same time, I got my $200, damn it. Which again, I feel like dirty having paid $200-300 17 years ago, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going to contribute to the financial income of the company anymore. I'm good. He's by the waterfall, but is it over here? Or is that, oh, is it on the other side? I'm a little nervous that I actually can't get up the shore. Maybe I can right here. Oh, I forgot there was a... All right, let's try this again. I think I'm on the wrong spot. I guess it's got to be up near the house. For some reason, I'm listening to it. It sounds like the music is sort of stuck in a combat loop. Not sure why, but
Stay a moment.
I'll decline this just for now.
How can I be of service?
You are welcome to Imladris, Black Lodge. These are times of trouble, but for now at least the curtain of the shadow is held back and we meet in peace. You bring grievous tidings from Eladan, but they are not entirely unlooked for. I fear that not all of the Nazgul were claimed by the Bruinen. This stray servant of the enemy will leave a mark on the wilderness. He may have already done so, and we can use it to track him. I give you my barrel, and ask you to hold it aloft at the ford of Bruinen. Return to me once you have done so, and we will speak further. Okay. So it's, I mean, you know, it's like a lot of back and forth, but as I've, said before, the sort of quote-unquote tedious nature of an MMO quest doesn't bother me in this game. Just because I love the world and the setting so much. And it feels thematic, and that might be me doing a lot of heavy lifting on the game's behalf, but it's good enough for me. I wonder why it's saying I'm exhausted. Definitely getting some lag at the moment. I was noticing in some of the combat, but here I'm definitely getting it a little more strongly. So yeah, yeah, you saw some hitching there. And it might be because I'm like loading regions or something. Wife's out of town. She's doing more corporate training crap. I've always been like thankful that I don't have to have that kind of job, but at the same time, when I feel like, my job could sort of just poof in a heartbeat, because I don't feel like I'm not, saving lives or, inventing a new light bulb, so it always feels a touch precarious. I wonder if there's a faster way to do this. Like, I guess, oh yes, I could have just teleported to the last bridge, I guess. Where am I? So yeah, I'm grateful that she does that job, and seems like it's just going to be able to keep doing that job. I'm in sort of television, and it's one of those industries that feels like it's in a chunk of turmoil at the moment. So I'm going to keep being grateful for as long as I keep doing what I'm doing. I've had the privilege of doing it now. I think this year is my 20th sort of year doing it. And if you told me 20 years ago I was going to be able to pull that off, I would have thought that was a dream, but, you know, wishful thinking. So, and then what ends up happening, and I think I was going into this in another stream earlier, like, I just need to last like another 20, but I know that's on some level selfish. And I think that's what makes me sort of grateful for what my wife does, and the fact that she's willing to do it is because she most likely can do it for another 20 years or whatever. Let me unlock this guy.
Greetings to you.
Can I get to... Yeah, there we go. Anyway. But because she's off doing that, and the kids are checking into bed, they're doing their thing, gives me a little bit of time. What I should be doing is I should be prepping for the first session of our... We did a session 0 of the spy game. Matt and Patrick made their characters. And we're going to be jumping into the first session proper this week. And so I should be prepping that. Did I overshoot it? Oh man, did I overshoot it. Can I get to the scout camp? I don't know why I thought it was here. Scout camp. I'm sort of, out of the corner of my eye, I'm sort of checking the Twitch stream. And I think I said this before, like, I keep wanting to stream to YouTube because that's where most of our subscribers are. I think here we have 12 followers, which is, you know, that's wonderful. Oh, okay, so I was basically almost to where I wanted to go. And then on the YouTube channel, we have like 180, 181, somewhere around there. It's gone up and down a little bit in the last couple days. And I don't know if people, any of those subscribers would actually check into a live stream. It's just the lag on doing a high quality stream is so long that I almost doesn't feel tenable. Looking at the OBS, is there a place where it shows you how many people are... Oops. Okay. Like the Twitch stream seems like it's maybe 3 or 4 seconds behind. But yeah, if you do like a high quality YouTube stream, it can be like 15. One of the things, because I'm a terrible father, one of the things we do when my wife's out of town is we do inappropriate theater, which basically means I rent a movie that, you know, is probably... But now that they're older, that's not really a thing anymore. But tonight we checked out 1996's, I think. The Nazgul were denied passage across. Bad Boys, Michael Bay's film Bad Boys. And let me use this and I'll get into... Hold the barrel of Glorfindel aloft and it glows with a pale light. Okay, so now we got to bring the barrel back. And I gotta say, it I think it was pretty early in Michael Bay's career. It was 1996, so we would have done The Rock somewhere around then. Armageddon, I don't think was too far away. But what I was surprised to see was it was really talky. For an action movie, there's not actually a ton of action in it. There's the opening heist, which is, and again, you know, it's not fair because it's like adjusting for inflation, so to speak. You know, like the action is not going to be as big as, you know, set pieces now. But I was surprised just how much talk there was. Sort of saving the action sequences for a few key moments. And like, you know, they go all out in the ending. I think I'm missing the road here. So obviously, I mean, it makes sense. That's where they're going to put the money. But, oops, nope, I didn't want to do that. But it meant that there were a lot of scenes where just like a lot of back and forth, a lot of arguing, you know, which, you know, is sort of funny in a way, but. And then, so because, you know, now that they've seen the first one, we can watch the second one. Now, the second one is like this overstuffed, you know, action movie where they can't stop blowing stuff up. So I wondered if, like, the first one was Michael Bay sort of still having some restrictions, some budgetary reins put on him because he hasn't quite exploded the way he's going to with Armageddon. I'm sure Bad Boys, The Rock, all these films, you know. The Rock might be the same way where there's like some action leading, but yeah, no. The Rock's got more. Anyway, but it was interesting to see. It was, I remember really liking it back in the day when I saw it in the movie theater. And then I thought it was pretty good tonight. Like, not blow me away. So yeah, that was we did a little bit of that. And I was like, yeah, you know, I got some free time. I'm going to do a stream. And then, does this go somewhere? Strange chicken nest. Okay. I was thinking maybe we would show him Bad Boys 2, but my wife's only gone basically tonight and tomorrow night. And tomorrow night there's a bunch of stuff going on. My son's got My son's got school stuff. He's got prom. So I hope he has a good time with that. I'll hang out with my daughter. I'm still in some Alcoholic Adventure Cabal, AAC RPGs, and tomorrow night could be the next session of a Mothership campaign that Jason of AAC hosting fame, the War Game podcast, he's running Mothership. It's been really good. It's a D100, which I like. It's simple though, and I don't know if it's like too simple for its own good, but it seems to work so far. So that's been fun, and it's not maybe what's making it work so well is that the scenarios are good. You know, the adventure that we're having is pretty good. Yeah, it's going to be a busy couple weeks. I'm hoping not to have our recording schedule impacted. You know, like I said, in a couple days, Thursday, we're going to do the first spy game. And then I don't know if Patrick's going to be ready. Patrick's been pretty swamped, so I don't know if he's going to be ready to... Oops, just banged a wire. Start up Eat the Reich. Maybe he will be, I'm not sure. But that's the week of, like, high school graduation. We're going to have family in town. So I might have to go to my, like, Ice Station Zebra basement compound to do that session. Let me see. Book 4, Chapter 3. You have returned, Black Lodge. Did you notice any change in the barrel I gave you when you arrived at the ford? The barrel began to glow. That is what I expected, and I am glad it was so, for it shall be our means of locating the Nazgul that remains hidden within the wilderness. The 9, servants of the enemy and shadows beneath his greater shadow, are creatures of such evil that the land cannot bear their presence. Again, this is what I love about Middle-earth. It's that the world itself is the power. It's not lightning bolt, lightning bolt. The barrel will glow in places where they have been. It will allow us to follow the missing rider's trail.
What can I do for you? Might you spare a moment of
I do not often travel into the wild, though I will do so when the need is great, as the Ranger Aragorn or his small friend Frodo Baggins could tell you. The sons of Elrond are better suited for directing your search for the missing Nazgul. I leave my barrel in your care for the time being and ask you to return with it to Elendan at his camp of Thorinhad. You will know where you should bring it to follow the traces of the Nazgul. Go with speed and with clarity of vision. The barrel will help you to find the stray servant of the enemy, but what will you do when you find him, I wonder? Okay. Very good friend of mine, sadly no longer with us. His mother is named Beryl. And now that I knew what it was before. When I first met her, I did not realize she was named after sort of like a precious stone. But I appreciated her name a lot more when I learned that. Okay, so the question is, do you think, can I get to fast travel to that base from this stable master, or is this stable master just to get us across town? And so,
Hail, friend, and well met.
Scouts camp, is that where I'm trying to go? Where's Scouts camp? Yeah, no. Let me see where else you can go. Okay, you can. The reason why I made sort of that weird noise earlier was that if it was just a way to get to the other side of town to get to the real stable, it was just going to be sort of that very bubblegum and duct tape. Feeling that always makes me feel like, again, that I wish the game could get a pass to tighten and clean everything up. I have to confess, I just, I'm very fortunate to have a copy of the anniversary collector's edition of War of the Ring, a board game. Classic board game, really good. But unfortunately, I need the money. And so I just put it up on eBay, and I'm shocked by how desired that game is. In that format, in that sort of
What do you need?
pimped out format. The words of Lord Glorfindel are most wise, and his gift of this barrel brings me hope that we may be able to regain the trail of the missing Nazgul. You have my thanks, Black Lodge, but now I must determine where we are to bring the barrel in order to reveal the Nazgul's location.
Stay a moment.
I was sort of bolstered by the fact that some of these have been orange, but now that it's red again, I'm always nervous that we're going to slip out of the level range of one of the book quests just as we're getting back started. Let's see, book 4, Chapter 5, Hiding in the Dark. I've given some thought to our riddle, Black Lodge, and while I do not know if this is the answer, my heart tells me that we must exhaust this course before we can be sure if it is fruitless. Many caves dot the wilderness of the Trollshaws, home to the creatures that give this place its name. The missing Nazgul suffered some grievous hurt when caught between the fires of Glorfindel and the ranger Aragorn in the waters of Bruinen. And he must have escaped to some secluded corner of the wild to regain his strength. I believe he fled to one of the troll caves. I will write down the names and locations of 3 caves, descend to the deepest chambers of each, and hold Glorfindel's barrel aloft. We must learn if the Nazgul hid within one of these caves in order to pick up his trail. Bring allies to these caves, for the trolls that lurk within are dangerous. Here are my notes, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so again, it's one of those things like, use the stone to... See, here they put it right there, which is what I thought. Oh, no, that's that one, but I might need the other stone to... Yeah. Get tough. Anyway, so I'm very grateful to the people that bought the collector's edition stuff I had of War of the Ring. Like, no joke, it's actually going to make a difference helping get some stuff that my son needs for college. So I'm really grateful that people were willing to... There are collectors out there who were looking to get their hands on a copy. All right, let's see if we can get... But yeah, it just sort of reinforces how timeless and the potential of this setting. This MMO is amazing. War of the Ring is amazing. Doing some the One Ring 2nd edition for the... Oh, these are elites. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Now it says you can't use it with the effect exhaustion, but I still for some reason have the effect exhaustion. I'm not sure why, but you see it's boosting up my XP. Now, elites one at a time, I probably could handle. Even yellow, orange, maybe even a red. That might be tricky, but... I mean, you can sort of see, like, I'm basically not taking damage. So it's sort of, I feel like it overcorrects to some degree. And so, yeah, I was doing some One Ring in the AAC Cabal. We basically did our session 0, and then we did like a 0.5 episode. Like, we basically got the setting started for like half an hour. But in the last session, we got the story proper started. And I guess, I'm basically doing like an intro adventure that I've sort of expanded upon. And I think you could make the case, if you stripped away the middle earthiness of it, you could say, oh, it just feels like any other kind of whatever. But having that middle earthiness to it sort of lends it a weight or validity or something that made it so we were all having a really good time. The thing you might do in 4 other typical fantasy RPGs just feels a little different when you start throwing certain names and geographical points around. Like, part of why, I was talking, I did a whole session leveling in Evendim to get ready for these book quests. And the two things that, are going on there are the lake and Numinos. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to incorporate the Numinos and that area in general, into the, fleshing out of the intro adventure that I'm running. And I think it really helped hook in the players. I don't want to speak for them, but the other thing I realized, I think about the One Ring second edition is that, part of me was thinking, I run for Matt and Patrick. I really enjoyed the solo. I feel like it really shines in like a 4-player kind of capacity. It's not like mechanically you can't do it with less. It just feels thematic. Appropriate when you have like 4. I probably talked about this in the One Ring solo stuff I did. When you're on a journey, there's 4 roles and yada yada yada. And you can have a player fill 2 of the roles as long as they're not the guide. But it feels weird. I don't. Maybe it wouldn't feel weird, but it feels good having different players fill all those roles. It feels thematically good. Of course, now I'm putting some time here in Lord of the Rings while got some time to myself, but the reality is if I were being smart, I'd be, I've still got to get up early tomorrow no matter whether I've got some free time now or not. So it's weird that you can get bleed. Whatever. I mean, I guess they're flesh and bone on some level. I can by stacking the light damage against them a little more. Nope, it's a dead end. Again, like I was saying, I think this gets you up to fellowship level overcorrects. Like, it almost doesn't seem possible for me to take damage. I mean, I'm literally taking hints of damage, but reach the deepest chamber, so we should be able to use the barrel. You hold Glorfindel's barrel aloft, but it remains dark, so this is not the cave we're looking for. Which, of course, makes sense. They're not going to put it in the closest one, but figured we'd do due diligence, check it out. Well, they definitely respawn quickly. Let's start with some light, I guess. Okay, let me see. Can't tell. Sometimes when I'm looking at the recordings, I look like I have jaundice. So I'm not sure what the color temperature of the lights should be, but let me try this. And I'm also nervous again that, the camera's just going to color balance on its own. Where am I? Right there? Okay, so that's no good. We got to go. So I'm wondering, can I hook up and then go over? I think that's just going to take me to the camp. Anyway, to briefly get back, really enjoying the One Ring still, very much. I think the group is enjoying it. I think some of them had so-so experiences with the first edition, and I confess part of it was sort of selfish curiosity of the second edition, or I could change their mind. More the second edition than me. I'm not some like amazing anything. All right, let's see if we can start. It was just almost pure curiosity, because, like, my initial, exposure, no, first impressions, I don't know what the right thing is, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm sold on this. Then when I did the solo thing, I was like, I think I really like this. Is there a safe way to get down? Like, in the first session we did a journey, which I enjoy those mechanics. And then after we did a journey, we did a little combat. And when I first read the combat, I was like, maybe, yeah, well, who knows? But then when I ran it, and I think the players would agree, again, I don't want to speak for them, but the thing I appreciated, it really, I think, got to the heart of, this is going to be a nightmare. I think it distilled nicely what sort of RPG tactical combat is. I don't know if that's going to make any sense, but like in D&D, if you use a map, you're going to move 5 feet per square, etc., etc. Crap, it's up top. And what I like about the One Ring, and it's not unique. I mean, other games, use zones or, there's different ways you can approach it. But what I liked about the One Ring is I felt like it distilled a lot of it down to its core essentials. Namely that, like, yes, of course, at some point you're going to get next to an enemy. So why do we need to have you physically do it in game? Just like, okay, yeah, you're there. Well, like, take your opening shots at range, then we'll just hand wave to the point where you're next to each other, and then just take it from there. And it worked. It really worked well. Where am I? So the trick you're seeing with the Trollshaws is that there's no straight shot. It's a series of valleys and glens and stuff like that. Like, I'm going to take these guys out because I just want to, but I feel like this is not the right place. And the combat took a little while because it was sort of our first time going through it all, and also sort of learning what the module itself could do, etc., etc. But once we sort of got that, I feel like any future combats would go much quicker. And I think you would still make a lot of the choices, the important choices you would make in like a far more tactical system. So I think we were all sort of pleasantly surprised. Taking sort of the low road here because I'm hoping if there's a cave, it's going to be on a lower part of the cliff wall, not the higher part. But you can see, like, this is a sort of no joke area. Everything's elite. It's tough to get around. And I'm just curious. Can you take on a yellow elite? First things first, what I should be doing is focusing on healing until I get some more parity in hit points. Stack some damage over times. voice is starting to go again, so I'm going to pop a cough drop. You can use it. See, it's not letting me use it, though. And I'm not going to be able to... I mean, I can take these things on one at a time, but I don't know if I can... Getting a lot of delay coming. There must be some way to remove... Oh. It's gonna get bad. Alright, let's see how we do against 2 yellow elites. So what I did there is I did the healing, got those going, then I did a couple of damage over times. Again, got the healing up. Get the damage over time going. Okay. All right. Well, now we hung in there. Again, testament to the Warden as a class. Why it's my favorite, as I've talked about many times before. Okay, it remains dark, which means the Nazgul was not here. So, I mean, you know, we could fight that. I'm just going to leave. I imagine half of these things have already respawned, so we're going to have to fight our way out as it is. You know, I've been talking about some of the stuff that's coming up. You know, there's no surprise in what Patrick's running next. He said it's going to be Eat the Reich. I am curious how he's going to run it, though. For, like, Scritch Scratch, his first thing in the rotation, he was a roll 20 guy. But I'm curious if that changes for this. I know Eat the Rake is out for, I think, Alchemy. I don't know what's up with Foundry. I mean, I assume it's got a Foundry module, but I don't know why. Keeping my back to this wall just because, as you've seen, he's knocked me around. I don't want to go airborne off the cliff and then aggro another troll. Great. All right. We got to get one more to the east. But with like a lot of Lotro areas, it might not be as simple as just going as the crow flies. It's not gonna let me get off this hill.
Greetings to you.
I'm not gonna take the quest. I'm just curious what it is. Cave rats, corrupted hounds, fallen trees. It's just basically go kill crap.
Hail, friend, and well met.
Oh, interesting that they can point you. Granted, I'm looking for one to the west, but it's interesting that they can sort of... that they added that flavor text. Oh, don't. I was just sort of intrigued by the ruins that were on the area below, and I almost fell off the cliff looking at it. Now the problem is that I'm not going where I need to go. Where am I on the map? Well, I made my way down there, but this is not where I want to be. Well, this could go badly. Got 35 elites. Aggro chasing after me. Able to hit me with range attacks every once in a while. Back where I started. Okay. Let's stop for a sec. See, this is why I need that Google Maps thing, because then I could sort of get a better lay of the land. Like, it's hard to tell, do I have to go down and around? The detail on the map's not quite clear. Do I have to go over and around? Like, it's just, I have no idea. Seems like it's around. So I'm always constantly adjusting my mic. I've never found like a perfect placement. I've got a low profile boom arm, but what I was doing a second ago, I was constantly banging into the bottom of it. And so I raised it up. And so now what I can't see is the mute button, which I don't need to see to activate. I can do it by touch, but I can't see when it's... If you remember, I was doing a Foundry prep stream, and then for part of it, I was muted the whole time because I couldn't see the red light. Let me do this. Maybe I can... That's actually not as distracting. I know a lot of people listen to themselves when they... I guess I just have to do that. Have the little bit of feedback in my earphones, so at least I know. It's pretty minimal now that I'm actually listening to it. I thought it was going to be a lot stronger. I can still hear the game audio very clearly, which was the thing I was worried about. And at least this way I know that I'm monitoring it, so I know when I'm muted and not muted. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to do exactly what I did last time, hoping that I can get all the way up and through to the north so that I can hook back down. But this doesn't look like it's going to take me where I need to. Well, maybe. No. Seems like a dead end. I might actually die looking at this here. I wonder if I could... So the thing is, I do all this stuff, and I try my best at it, but I'm not good at it, so maybe there's a way I can lower the monitoring in my cans so I can make it sound like I actually know what I'm talking about. So that I can barely hear it. So it'd be just enough to tell me that I'm good voice-wise, but not too intrusive. So, this is taking me the wrong way. This is really taking me the wrong way. Okay. No. Okay. What I need to do is I need to, whoops, put some of the stuff on my hot bar. I feel like I'm running out of Trollshaws to flee from here. There are other things I can drop here, like, now, I don't know if I've actually ever been here before, now that I'm... Dynamic layers are used when there are multiple copies of an area that you're currently in. This means even though another player is in the same area as you, you may not be able to interact with them. However, you are able to transfer to another layer by joining a fellowship. Okay, blah, blah, blah. I have no idea what this is. Oh, this is gonna go badly. Nope, I'm gonna die. I need to get out of here. So I wonder what this area is for. Because yeah, that goes from like 0 to instant death pretty quickly. But it doesn't seem like... they didn't seem like elites or anything like that, so I wonder if it's just... There's a quest involved with that? I have no idea. So now again, okay, the problem is I'm way up here, and that's fine, but I'm trying to get there. And is the way to do it from one of these stables? Like, could I go to the last bridge and somehow work my way up? Or is it this camp and then sort of cutting through this valley? Because I can tell you where I'm currently at is a train wreck and not where I want to be. And of course, getting back is going to be the worst. Okay. Now, if I remember correctly, the quest we're on, it's like, you know, please check these caves with the barrel to see if... But there's a decent chance that none of the caves have the Nazgul, and it's just... Because I remember part of the language of the quest was, you know, we have to... here we go. We have to exhaust this just to see... Just to make sure, right? So it could be one of these quests where, like, oh, thank you for exhausting it. It was fruitless, but at least we can check that box off and now do the real thing that we have to do. Oop. Let's see how many are following us. Only 3. I could actually... There's a chance I could actually take 3 if I paid attention. So what you're seeing here, slight hints of what Moria has in store. Oh, that guy's a level 150. I can take this guy. I wonder what class he is. Guardian, okay. It's interesting. I don't know if I don't normally see like too many Guardians around. I see a lot of like from the original classes, you know, Lore Masters, Hunters. Not too many burglars, even though I'm a big fan. Get some healing going as I realize I'm on the brink of death. But yeah, high-level guardians like that. Yeah, I don't know if I see that too often. Okay, so let's take this stable master to.
Well met.
Let's try the last bridge, and then we'll see if we can somehow get up here and then over. Was that even an option?
Three-eyed Malon.
Last bridge swift. Yeah, let's see what happens. And when I say, you know, we're getting a sneak peek of what Moria has to offer, you know, it might be me, right? Like, I just might be terrible at navigating it. But the map doesn't give you the detail you need to navigate the cracks in the Trollshaws the way you might want to, so it's not too frustrating. Okay, so, and again, there's that sort of Google Maps-ish kind of mod for this that I failed to install before. Which, I mean, it's one of those things where like, oh yeah, and you know what, sitting here, I'm like, okay, my experience is making me realize I need to install that. And then it's like one of those, you know, note to self, make sure you install this before next time, and then I don't. So this might, I'm going to hug the coast here, but I think I'm about to run out of... Okay. We need to maybe cut inward a little more. Okay. So we've finally gotten... The combat music loop is definitely solved. We're getting the sort of classic Trollshaws soundtrack now. Is this a dead end? Might be. Okay. Okay, let's get a little further east and then see if we can probe north. Okay, we're back to Elite Trolls. Now, I wonder if this was back in the day when they didn't give you the buffs to allow you to solo Fellowship content, if this is one of the choke points that jammed people up trying to cut through the book quests. Because again, you would have to do something to be able to get past all these elites. Okay, maybe it's up this hill. I'm sort of, I don't know, let's see if I can remember to link to the website. There's somebody doing like a true old school Shadow of Angmar version of this that's not Standing Stone Games. Maybe people already know about it, I don't know. But what they're trying to do is they're basically trying to restore the game back to 2007 standards. And I've watched some streams that you can't get in now. It's not like there's public betas going on. It's not officially launched yet. But what I saw partly fascinated me. Again, as somebody who was there at the beginning and remembers... I guess I should heal. You can use the shimmering elfstone here to draw upon. Okay, there we go. I guess I just missed the window where to do that, but now it says I can't. See, this is what sort of happened last time. It told me, yeah, you're good to go. And then it was like, nope, sorry. Let me go out and come back in and see if that... All right. Get some damage over time going. And then I'll get back to healing. Oh, okay, so now, okay. Looks like the stone kicked in. I don't know what changed. I don't know why it suddenly happened. So that's good because it means I can just sort of breeze through now. If I get ganged up, it doesn't matter. Because as I was saying a little while ago, it almost feels like it's impossible to take damage. It's literally not, but it's so negligible that sort of trivializes the whole thing. But it does, I guess, keep it a very chill experience if you're looking for a chill game. Even the... It just turns it all into super easy. Yeah, it's basically, it's like playing a, you know, this MMO, and I don't mean this in a bad way. Sort of like playing like your favorite RPG in almost like story mode, if that makes sense. You know, if what you're here for is just to see it, it's a really nice experience for that. Like, you don't walk into this going like, man, I want this to challenge me like Elden Ring. It's not that kind of game. It's more about just experiencing the world, the setting. So again, if you don't know what we're doing here, we're trying to get to the deepest parts of this cave. Then we're going to light a beryl stone that was given to us by Glorfindel, I think. And that's going to tell us if the sort of rogue Nazgul has been here. And if it has, then we can use that to sort of establish the beginning of a trail and track it down, which is, I think, the main purpose of Volume 1, Book 4. So mostly I'm just looking for the little pop-up that says, hey, you're at the deepest part. Give it a shot. Speaking of playing your RPGs on story mode or whatever, I mean, this is a stretch for that kind of transition, but I just saw, so, you know, if you're into video games, Summer Games Fest, blah, 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 that's all going on now, or it just ended. I think Summer Games Fest was either like Friday or Saturday, I don't know. I know Xbox had their thing on Sunday. Ubisoft, today's Monday, June 10th. Ubisoft had its thing going on today at some point. I don't know if Electronic Arts had one. I can't recall. Oh yeah, they did. They must have had something because there was the new Dragon Age trailer. And I don't know what to make of it. If you haven't seen it, like, so if you've played old Dragon Age games, the first one was pretty like grimdark to the point where like you walked around 90% of the time just doused with the blood of your murdered enemies. So you go through like all these conversation scenes, like handing in quests and stuff like that. You're just drenched head to toe in blood from the fights. And that's sort of what the, you know, it was a little grimdarky. It was a little, I don't know if emo is the right word. Okay, you hold Glorfindel's barrel aloft, but it remains dark. So what that means is that we sort of did due process. We checked the caves, and this wasn't what the Nazgul did following the river coming and taking all of them. I'm going to be cheap. I'm going to use a mithril coin just because I was having so much trouble navigating around the northern Trollshaws. So I'm just going to jump here just to save time trying to get back. Yeah, so they set up the trailer for the new Dragon Age game. And I say this having only played some of 2 and 3. I confess, I really loved the first. And it was kind of giving me, like the spiritual successor to Baldur's Gate kind of slight vibes, which is why I probably dug it. So what do we got here? Swords. Yeah, let's do the sword. It's gonna bump me up 4 points of damage per second, whatever, who cares? Always make the numbers go up. What do we got here? We can make the numbers go up even more with this sword. So let's do that. Anyway, the point is that, yeah, when I was looking at, so they set up the vibe of the trailer is very much like in the vein of the trailer for the D&D movie that came out, which I genuinely really liked a year or two ago. But that's not what I associate with Dragon Age. So it kind of threw me. And I don't know if then I just failed to adjust my expectations or if I was just sort of checked out for the rest of watching the trailer. So I don't know if that's it. Like I'm just, again, checked out, or if maybe I'll give it a shot at some point, or maybe what I should be doing is just going back and playing. I gave 2 an honest try, and I don't know if I really dug it. But maybe the third one is another one. That I should give it another shot. Again, I'm just selling everything because I don't care. My main thing here is to get through. I'm going to hold on to that. But the main thing I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to get through book quests. I'm not here to raise factions. I'm not here to grind out stuff. So it's just... but here we go. I may need to level for the next part of this book quest. Because you can see it's not showing up here. Got a lot going on in Evendim still. You could take missions here in the Trollshaws probably, but I find the Trollshaws slightly frustrating to navigate if you check this out for the last 20 minutes, you watch me get lost and nearly get beaten to death by spiders, wood trolls, ogres. Yeah, my fear is that what I need to do is I need to have Illidan give me the next thing, and I need to be level 34. So what I'm going to do, where can I muster? Estelden, Evendim. I'm going to go back to Evendim. It's not a ton, and Evendim is a place I like to quest. So maybe I'll just... Again, this is usually something I would do off camera, but...
Greetings.
Interesting. Okay. Have you been to the encampment of our brothers in the North Downs? I definitely have. Once fair Estelden still serves as honorably, even now, as the base for our rangers. Train and prepare for the forces as the forces of Angmar pour down. Not that we don't need your help here, but you may wish to speak to Nethur in Estelden. Now maybe he has a quest chain that's... Because I think I can get there pretty quickly. So let me just pop over there. If nothing else, I'll get hopefully experience for this red quest, just for talking to the guy.
Could I speak with you?
Yeah, these are too low level. I don't want to bother with a light blue.
Would you do something for me?
Nope. Okay, so let's see where we can find... So anyway, what was I talking about? Dragon Age. So I've heard Dragon Age Inquisition is good, but maybe a little MMO-ish, I guess.
Stay a moment.
Have you heard of the Wardens of Innuminas? They're going to send me back. That's fine. I think the thing about Dragon Age and you know, I'm sure other people have said this all over the place all the time. Like, they've never settled on what that game is. If that makes any sense. You know, like, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe, you know, I don't know. What do I know? But I feel like it's sort of like a thing like, oh, new Dragon Age is coming. But that doesn't actually necessarily tell you anything. It doesn't tell you, like, you're not quite sure what that means. Glad sent you. Ha! And here I thought they might need your help even more than we, but it is true that matters here are not to my liking, for the orcs outnumber our forces greatly, and it is only a matter of time before the last bastions of the north come under attack.
Would you do something?
Yep, these are all, again, all light blue, so I'm not going to bother. So they tell me I can go back to the Wardens of Innuminas. So let's go back there. I think we can swift travel. Or, you know what? I'm just going to spend the coin. I don't know if, like the hardcore, I think that's a total cop-out. It might
What can
be.
I do for you?
You've been sent by Arrow here. Good. We have great need of trustworthy warriors to help us against the growing threat of robbers and the like that have grown up here in recent months. For we are few, and it threatens to overwhelm us. Okay. So let's get Evandim. Bang out the yellows, I guess. Small statues, defeat goblins. Escape from Duskenclap. Okay, so it looks like that's up there, there. Alright, let's start heading out there then, I guess. At the same time, you know, like when, you know, I think this is something I was hearing somebody say. It's like maybe it's refreshing for the developers to not have to make the exact same game over and over and over. They get to stay in the world maybe that they really enjoy, the lore, the etc. And maybe that's the advantage, at least to the people making the Dragon Age games. But I confess though, like when they announced like Dragon Age 4, you know, part of me was like, oh, I wonder what it'll be this time, if that makes any sense. What else? I missed the Ubisoft one. I was curious to see the Ubisoft one. I know they've got the sort of Star Wars Outlaws game coming out. I'm kind of curious what they do with an open world. I mean, I know what Ubisoft does with an open world. I'm curious how that vibe fits with Star Wars. Might be cool, I guess. I sort of peaked with Far Cry 4, so 5 left a really bad taste in my mouth. 6 I barely touched because I think I still had the bad taste of 5 in my mouth. And the Far Cry games are a lot more fun for me. Everything's more fun in co-op. And so I just couldn't muster the... After 5, I was just like, you know, I don't know if I care about these games enough when they're not in co-op to get through them. But I was kind of curious to see, you know, maybe as much as Star Wars has done everything it could to, like, lose my interest. But, you know, that's... You know, I'm an old dude, so it's not meant for me anymore. So it doesn't bother me too much that certain things took it in directions that are not, you know, I'm not the audience anymore. And then other things are just, in my mind, just really stupid. Or poorly done, or whatever. So to set the benchmark of where my current Star Wars fandom is, it's basically just Andor. And it's not fair to expect Star Wars to go... Okay. To go only in that direction. That's not what Star Wars is for everyone. So I'm kind of curious, and so I guess part of, you know, long-winded way of saying there's something about Outlaws that I think is going for slightly more gritty, less forcey, less Jedi. And I know for a lot of people, you know, Star Wars is the Jedi. It's that whole light, dark, whatever. I don't know why, but for me, Star Wars really does the scoundrel part of space opera well. I feel like it's got a lot of... I don't know what. You know, obviously, I think you can make the argument that a lot of people feel Han Solo is the coolest character. Jabba the Hutts, you know, this whole the things that were sort of hinted at when they were sort of telling their main story. Rogue One and Andor really sort of flesh out in a lot of ways. And I think it really works. I'm not going to get this interrupt off. And I think that's what Outlaws appeals. Like, you know, like even with like RPGs like, I don't know, Traveler. You know, I feel like a lot of sort of people want that kind of vibe. And Star Wars does it really well. Let's see. Large statue peaches, small. So we'll see. But the other thing I was kind of curious to see was, did they... Are they remaking any of their Splinter Cell games? Are they doing any like reboots or maybe not reboots, but remasters? I think that's what I was going for. I don't remember if the first one. So one of the great things about Splinter Cell games is when the later ones, I think it was Chaos Theories when it started, they got into co-op. It's really fun in co-op. And so I would love to see, okay, we got that. So we still need 4 small. So I'd love to see, you know, if they decided to remaster the first one, could they bring that in somehow? It's not really a remaster. That's probably adding a whole butt ton of stuff to the game, but and then the other thing I was kind of curious to see, which I don't have high hopes for, is would they be doing another Ghost Recon, but not in the pattern of the originals, or even as far as like Vegas. Am I remembering those right? Like the ones that Vegas 1, Vegas 2. But that open world approach that they tried with Breakpoint and the one before that, Wildlands. Again, it's purely selfish because if you play them as like sort of lone wolf stealth games, they work really well for my money. Or again, if you play them in co-op, I thought they were amazing. Especially the first one, Wildlands. The second one, they screwed up and then they turned it too much into you know, like leveled weapons, like a looter shooter kind of, maybe, if I'm using that phrase correctly. It was just too much. You have to have level 30 gear to get this area, blah blah blah. And then I think, to their credit, like the fan base freaked out and they made all that stuff optional. They made it so like, no, you want to play this like a straight up, you know, go for it. And once you, for me at least, once you turned all that stuff on, and then they put in tons of like tweaks, like how much of the UI do you want to see? How much of the map do you want to see? How hardcore basically do you want to make this? And so it was a blast, especially in co-op. Yeah, that's one quest done. What else? So I know we got to go down to go around, so let's get on horse. So yeah, I was just curious. Like, I don't know if I had heard like 1 in a million kind of rumors that it might happen, but yeah, but I missed it. What was I doing? I was definitely, I was still working. So I was banging out the end of the day at work. And then, you know, as I mentioned at the very beginning, like the reason why I'm jumping on here on a Monday is because my wife's out of town. So while that means I get some free time to do this kind of dork shit, it also means that I was, you know, holding down the fort entirely by myself. So I was probably tied up doing some of that as well. And then, you know, as I was mentioning, introduce the kids to the 1996 classic Bad Boys. Another entry in the Michael Bay oeuvre. Okay, so first things first, let me uncheck that. Let's just bring these up, just in case there's more here. That was down there. Okay. But yeah, I tend to uncheck quests that are done, just so the arrows don't point me in that direction. Okay, let's start murdering all these people. Okay, this could get bad quickly, so I'm going to focus on healing. I'm going to see if I can get a double shield up for a little extra defense. Go back to healing, but I'm not facing my target. And now here's where it's bad that I forget the one that does group damage. I think that was one. I think this one's going down. I can just leisurely murder. Is this... Oh, crap. You know what? Let's see. Okay, here we go. It's on. Okay, back to defense. And sticking with defense just to keep... Oh, that's not good. Just to keep the morale consistent while I chip away at the HP, and then as soon as we hit parity, then I'm comfortable just going all in on damage, because I should be able to outpace them. And this guy just won't die. There we go. Rare Elite. I wonder, it didn't seem to make the stats any better. But actually, I mean, that's the thing. I talk about all this stuff. Like, the person I usually play co-op video games with is my brother. And right now we're doing Jagged Alliance 3, which, again, I may have said this somewhere. I always knew Jagged Alliance was a respected series. I'm loving it. The third one offers co-op. I don't know if the other ones ever did. So it's been great. And, you know, we also have like Baldur's Gate 3. And given the rate with which we play through these games, like that's gonna, you know, that's like 15 years of co-op right there. Man, this guy's jamming up my... So... It's not like we have any shortage of options, but yeah, Jagged Alliance 3 has been really... Although I you know, maybe I've said this before, like, I gotta tell you, like, there are clearly no women on their writing staff. Because it is just like eye-rolling, cringe-worthy crap. And maybe I get it in that they're trying to go for, like, you know, 80s action movie kind of one-liners and stuff. So like one of the mercenaries I've got I'm working with is very like Arnold Schwarzenegger one-liners, but then like the female characters are just all like sexual innuendo lines, like over and over and over. Oops. In a way where it's just like, it's like seriously, like, do they not say anything else like ever? Like I maybe could see like if you're going for that aesthetic, then that's part of it, I guess. Hey, what's up? I saw somebody jumped into the chat. Welcome. But yeah, it's not done. Subtle is not a word I would use to describe any part of Jagged Alliance 3's dialogue. And again, not that I'm looking for like Bronte subtext, you know, levels of writing in a video game, but holy shit, it can be really bad. Having said that, the gameplay is really fascinating. And, you know, in theory, that's the more important part on some level. I'm getting close to... Okay, so here I'm supposed to... escape from Duskin Cleft. I'm supposed to collect the satchel of relics. Oh, there it is. Okay. How are we doing? Okay, I mean, we're not right on the cusp of leveling, but we're not like a million miles away. Okay. So that's two. Am I in a fight? Oh, okay. Okay, let's take some of these off because they're done. Boom, boom. Where else can we go? So why is escape from Duskin? There we go. Actually, I should probably take off immediate threats as well, because it's going to send me back to Asvarad. To help the two people, but I don't actually need to interact with them yet. So I was talking earlier about how like I'm doing some stuff in Free League's The One Ring Second Edition, a tabletop RPG about Middle Earth. I confess, vibes, inspirations, some of the ideas, or a lot of what I bring when I'm trying to run that, a lot of my sort of quote-unquote institutional knowledge comes from this instead of the original books. I've read the original books once. I've seen the movie countless times, but I know those aren't 100% accurate. And I've been playing this game for 17 years, so I think this game probably disproportionately occupies the imagination space I have surrounding Middle Earth. Even more than the books. I know that, like, I know Season 2, The Ring of Power, is coming out soon. I want to give it a shot. I didn't love or hate the first season of Ring of Power. It felt very... I guess like it was trying to set up a lot of things. Here we go. It also... Remember I was talking to somebody and they were sort of calling out the difference between, I guess they were watching House of the Dragon. Is that the prequel to Game of Thrones? And they were sort of saying, like, why does House of the Dragon, in their mind, look so much cooler than Lord of the Rings? Rings of Power. And they're like, was it, cameras? Was it technical stuff? And I sort of pointed out, like, both shows, I think, use the exact same camera. So whatever look you're seeing on screen is somebody making a choice. And the choice... This is going to sound terrible. NBC shows often have, like, this sort of oversaturated sheen to them that makes them feel cheap is not the right word. But it makes it feel flat in a way that shows don't have to. Or often don't. Like, you're able to give your show a little bit of zhuzh or something by making certain choices. Artistic choices, whatever. And I'm sure, like, if I watched more CBS shows, I would notice how, like, all the NCIS shows have a similar palette or whatever. That's its own kind of flat. But for some reason, for a little while, like, I noticed it with NBC. They had a couple of shows on that I was like, I'll give these a shot, and they all sort of had the same vibe. And the Rings of Power, and it's the same type of, like, faces on, like, they go for certain types of good looking, so it's just kind of, it all, and for some reason, Rings of Power struck that vibe with me. And I don't need to be like emo grimdark, but there's just like there's like a grit that the movies had that the show just never went for. And that grit, helps make the obvious sets feel slightly less like obvious sets and stuff like, at least to me when I'm watching it. But I'll give it a shot. My daughter My daughter liked it. My son, I don't know, I think he was a little bored. My wife was literally bored out of her skull. None of that's her thing. Sci-fi, none of that goes over well. But I guess that's the nice thing. Is like, since my son's going off to college, I might not be the biggest deal in the world if, like, my wife goes and takes care of some stuff and my daughter and I watch a little TV. Be a little time for just the two of us. When she's not too busy. This is probably a good thing in the grand scheme of things, but like I don't watch TV. Whoops, okay, I don't need to do that anymore. I don't watch TV if I'm by myself. Like, I'm like 3 seasons away from finishing The Expanse. I love The Expanse. I probably could have marathoned like 4 episodes tonight, but I didn't. I'd rather do this. I'd rather prep RPGs. I'm getting stuff ready where I like play board games to be able to stream there. I've got some hardware coming tomorrow. That should be the last steps of rebuilding what I used to be able to do down where I board game in the basement. Like a degenerate. I find myself doing literally all of that in front of just popping on a show and sitting there. Even, when I'm doing this, like, 1, it's fun. 2, I like, if there's people out there that just pass this game over, just one more option to potentially trip over it and realize just how good it is. But, okay, we don't need that. We don't need that. Let's immediate threats. I don't need payment. Okay, let's see where this is. It's still around here. Okay. Defeat the Oathbreaker commander. Okay. But the other thing is, like Archer, by doing this, I get, I don't want to make it sound more grand than it is, but I get practice. Realizing, now that I figured out a few things about, I don't want to say practice like the craft of talking while you play a video game, not that kind of stuff, but like figuring out a way to get to monitor my voice without it being overbearing or intrusive, which is why I left it off. And because I left it off, that's why I would talk for 20 minutes muted on streams. It's just those little things that, for me at least, I don't learn until I screw it up and then have to say, okay, wait, what did I just do? Or like appreciating, I love, love's a strong word. I think Mac Minis are really good pieces of hardware, but when it comes to multi-channel recording, OS X just needs hacks to get it to work that are a bit of a hassle. So when the time came, I was like, do I get a Mac Mini for what I'm trying to set up in the basement? Or do I get a PC, like a mini PC? It's not a small form factor. It's even smaller than that. I went with the PC just because I was like, okay, like I've spent some time trying to get, the Mac hardware that I have in the house, loop back, all the software like that, and it's just a hassle. So I was just like, yeah, let me, now that I've spent some time trying to learn it, now that I'm actually going to invest a little bit into the hardware, let me get a PC. And the whole reason why I was able to do that is because I spent time, practicing, so to speak, and, not watching TV, etc., etc. Okay, current quest, payment on an ancient debt.
What do you need?
I think this is going to do it.
What can I do for you? How can I be of service?
There we go. We've dinged 34. So let's, is there more to hand in?
Greetings. Might I take a moment of your time?
Talk to so-and-so at Tinadir. I think we're headed there anyway. So I'm going to take that. Anyway. So yeah, so like, so the new hardware's coming tomorrow. And I've got the camera, I've got the audio, I've got the video capture. So basically what I did was I decided to try like an all-in-one solution. I'm having a good experience with my my Rode hardware that I use for audio interfaces. So I got a Rode Streamer X. Hooked up my mic and camera to that, and then I was trying on my Mac hardware that I had sitting around here, trying to get, you know, different things in OBS to go to different channels. Then I was messing with loopback, and I was messing with audio hijack, and I was getting it all to work, but sometimes things would like echo on it, and I'm like, this Mac hardware is underpowered anyway, so it was never going to be like the permanent option. It's my laptop that I use for writing. It's an M1 8 gig MacBook Air. I love it for writing, but it's not equipped to really handle anything else. But it was good to practice on. So I was like, okay, cool. And then if I had gotten it like, oh, this is flawless, then I would have invested in a Mac M2 Mac Mini Pro maybe. Sort of been anyway. But you know, then I was like, okay. But then, you know, the PC audio management is more advanced. Sounds like a loaded phrase, but I don't know. You know, it registers like the multiple audio channels you get by plugging in the USB 1 and 2 from your Rode hardware, you know, as separate things. And then, like, yeah, you can start. Like when we would do Black Lodge Trivia Night RPGs, you know, I've got the browser that we're gaming on, like that we're using for Foundry. That's on one of the audio channels. Then we've got the StreamYard, which is what we use to communicate to each other. I've got that on another, and then my micro. So they're all recording separately, so I can have like a decent enough backup. Should something go wrong with like the StreamYard recording. So let's see. Let's Evan Dim. Let's get some of these back on the. Are these here or are these up there? They're up there. Anyway, so the point is that this is all practice, right? This is the stuff I learned. You know, because the best way I learn, you know, I try and do my research. And then I just jump in and screw everything up. And then by fixing it, that's how I actually learn. Okay, so we're going to go up. We're going to hand these quests in because we have them to hand in. And then we're going to try jumping back into book quest. Which back in the Trollshaws, I guess. But I do need to get it all set up, not for this week, but next week. Because again, I think I was mentioning way in the beginning of this, I'm going to be having some family in town, which makes it tough for me to stream from my current location. And I don't want to jam up our tabletop actual play recording schedule. So it'll be a backup for that. And then, yeah, hopefully I can get back into some of the board games. There's an RPG I was looking at. I don't know if he's still on our Black Lodge Discord or if it's just over the other Discord places I run into him. But yeah, he introduced me to, man, where is it? Give me one sec. Got it right here. It's called Dead. Let's see, where is it? Dead Belt. There we go. It's a solo or co-op RPG that's about like space trucking and doing salvage. And the way it works is you need like a deck of cards. So I was trying to figure out how to use a deck of cards, right? And I think you actually have to be able to like put them on a table. So you can put the layouts, and this sort of tells you like when you're exploring the derelict ship, what you find where. But I'm not sure. I wasn't 100% sure. So yeah, that was Duck on the Black Cloud Trivia Night or the
I'm sorry, did you need
AAC Discord.
Might I take a moment?
Anyway, so I was trying to figure out like how would you do that? Because I think you're supposed to like sort of put them down randomly and then reveal them when you encounter them.
What is this world coming to?
And I'm not a genius at Foundry, so it's Dunkley. So I hadn't cracked how to do that, and then I was like, you know, that would be pretty easy to do on my board game table the way I used to have it set up.
I'm sorry.
So.
Did you need something?
That made me, and then I started to realize like I should get that going again. It's not always going to be like, because part of me was like, you know, there are some like RPG adjacent board games that I could try. Like, you know, I have like the Skyrim board game. And there's a part of me that's curious about it. Okay. Okay, so immediate threat is ready to hand in. But where? But then there's, of course, you know, there's my other hobby, which is like playing, you know, war games.
What do you need?
Okay. So there we go. We've gotten about like 25%, maybe almost 30% of the way to level 36. That's not bad, because at some point I was thinking, you know, like when I'm doing this leveling, maybe I should just level twice just so I stop running into issues with getting out leveled by the book quests. So Mathams, I'm just gonna sell. Broadhead Halberd of Wounding. Can I actually use this? I don't think I can, so I'm gonna sell it. Level 35, so I'm going to hold on to that because I'm almost there. Jump on those now. Enduring leather shoulder pads. Okay. If I can just find them somewhere in this crap. Shining quilted waistcoat. There's a couple things I got going on here that I need to... Okay, there's the leather. So that means now I can sell... Where are the other ones? What was that? Dwarf jacket. Okay. Man. I don't know if my eyes are just going blurry because I'm getting tired. But I am not seeing... Why is it that I can't... Oh, it's bound to my account. Okay, who cares? I can't ditch it. Okay. Where's this jacket? That's not it. Oh, is that? Yeah, no, because I can't use it yet. Okay, that's... Okay. I don't know, it's this shining quilted waistcoat. That's what I'm looking for. That's not it. That's the jacket. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, cool. That's, I mean, it's a little better. You know, I should be ditching a lot of this crap that I'm never going to do. I can do that some other time. Okay. So, now we need to get back to the Trollshaws. Should be a... I think there's a... Here we go. Let's see where we can get to from here.
Greetings.
Tinadir, Rochelle, the North Downs. We're going to go there. Let's see how long I've gone. 2 hours. Okay, so one of the things we're trying to do, by we, I mean me on some level. I used to try and pump out a lot of computer role-playing game content, and I'm trying to scale back the frequency and just make each one longer. So that way, you know, it still gets covered in whatever fashion, but it's, oh, is there no swift travel? Did I click the wrong one? But it lets us, or am I just, okay, I'm going to the wrong. Oh no, maybe not. Okay. Some pathfinding going on there. I was flooding the channel with, yeah, computer role-playing game content instead of sort of spacing it out a little more, so it felt like a little bit more of a balance, and letting the tabletop stuff, which is the focus, come through a little more prominently. So I'll probably, what time? I'll probably go for a little while more here, and then maybe I'll stitch together a second part to this that won't be a Twitch stream, and then I'll put that as part 7. Like I was saying, part 6, I think, or part 7, I forget which, or this, maybe this is part 7. There's a part that hasn't come out yet. It's going to be coming out tomorrow on the YouTube channel. Tomorrow being June 11th. Usually we drop that stuff at 2 p.m. Eastern, so there should be a Lord of the Rings Let's Play. The section right before this one will be up on YouTube. And then this one will probably be up like around the 18th as an archive on YouTube, because, well, we're not going to have any. We weren't able to record a tabletop RPG last week, so we don't have anything going up this Friday. We were down a man, and we're trying to get away from. When we knew Patrick, has a very young child. Child's starting to get a little older, so his schedule's starting to get to be a little more consistent. But when it wasn't, Matt and I knew we had to fill that time. So we were coming up with ways to do one-on-one RPGing that would last a little bit. But when now it's sort of like an erratic, oh crap, like I just came down with something, or we don't want to, I don't want to like plug something in that might actually take 3 sessions to complete, because I just don't know when they'll go up. So like I was trying to figure out like, oh, what do I do? Like, what is there something I could put up for this coming Friday? And then I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, just, we're going to have to say like, apologies, we weren't able to record, and just put that into sort of the lexicon so that it's possible for us to, miss a week every now and then without it being unprecedented. Because yeah, like I was like, oh yeah, I'm really into like the One Ring 2nd edition. I could do a little more Strider mode. But if it ends up being something that doesn't wrap up in one session, then I guess I could just play multiple times and get it to the point where it's done, even if it's like 6 hours long. But I was just trying to avoid that kind of thing going up on the channel to stay out of the way of hopefully the consistent rotation, which should be more possible at this point. I'm hoping from Trestle Bridge we can get somewhere real, whether it be Bree or somehow Rivendell. Yeah, hopefully that's the case. I have a feeling Bree. I probably have the... Is there a way? There's a way to muster in Bree, and I remember I was looking it up. And then I remember... and then I forgot. I don't know if muster in Bree is like a deed you have to unlock or something. Or if it's a level 35. Maybe it's a level 35 thing.
Greetings.
I really thought I'd be able to swift travel that, but okay. Oh, well, maybe not. If it's just a straight shot south. Yeah, where I am, it's 12:35 a.m. and I've got to be up at 7 tomorrow. So maybe what I'll do is I'll get to, let's get to where we're going. Man, tomorrow's going to be busy. I've mentioned this before, like I'm lucky in that my job doesn't start till 10 a.m. I go from 10 to 6, 10 to 7. Which can be a little complicated, again with kids and trying to get dinner ready when you're holding down a fort, but otherwise having that late start means that I don't get to sleep in, but it means that I get a couple hours in the morning where I can take care of errands, and tomorrow's going to be one of those mornings running around like a madman. Then come in hot. I work from home, so I'll, see what's going on there. And then a lot of kid stuff tomorrow. So good kid stuff, fun stuff. But it is a lot to do. I've said this before in earlier streams, and the reason why I've said this before kind of stuff, because I see there might be a couple people watching, and who knows who pays attention to what. But, like, it's on autopilot. I'm not steering the ship here, but I never mind these moments. Again, to me, Lord of the Rings is just such a fun, chill game. And just taking it in is enough at times. I've described it before. It's sort of like there's like headcanon's not the right word, but it's more than the sum of its parts, because my imagination is running a little wild as I'm sort of getting a chance to just sit back and take in the setting. So it's a bit of that. It's just a bit of appreciating, just what's been accomplished in this game. And like Final Fantasy XIV brings its setting to life. I'm not familiar with the setting, so I'm speaking out of my ass, but that doesn't hold the same weight, obviously, to me as, pulling off Middle-earth. Okay, so from here we gotta jump over. What's this?
How can I be of service?
Winter. Oh, okay.
What do you need?
No, I think we need to go to... cut to the other side of town. And then from there, we can start getting places.
What can I do for you?
Okay, so I think we're trying to get back to that camp in the Trollshaws. So let's, where are we looking over? We're trying to get to here. I think we're trying to get to Thorinhad. So I think the easiest way is probably going to get either the last bridge or Rivendell. So let's see what we got going on here.
How can I be of service?
Maybe it's got a connection straight to Trollshaws. Nope. Okay. So we're just going to do this. Yeah, also my throat, my voice is starting to go a little bit.
Megovanen.
There we go. Yeah, my annual doctor crap. And just one of the things I got, sitting here streaming for 3 hours, but he's looking at me. He's like, "Hey, man, you're not young anymore. So you need to start doing some things to take care of yourself." And I was like, "You're absolutely right. But I'm just gonna stream Lord of the Rings for 3 hours." Okay, there we go. Yeah, so this will probably be sort of part one of this thing, and I'll record the second one when I can. Book 4, Chapter 6, The Knowledge of the Onodrim. While you were searching the Stone Troll Caves, a productive search... I don't know if he's messing with me. Do not be dismayed that you did not reveal the Nazgul's location. I received word from Barishin in the South Trollshaws. My brother dispatched him to watch over the lands south of the road, and it seems that duty has been rewarded. Again, so like I get it. Like, you know, even though I went to 3 caves and there was literally nothing there, narratively it makes sense. Like somebody's got to cover that base because you don't know if that's where the clue's going to come from. Somebody else was doing something else. Turns out that was the one that paid off. Gameplay wise, I don't know if it's super satisfying, but narratively I get it. Let's see. Barashin is reported seeing one of the wandering Onodrim. If this is so, older and wiser eyes than our my own may have seen the passing of the Nazgul and can tell us much. Travel west along the road that runs through the South Trollshaws. Barashin has scouts along the road, and one of them can direct you to his camp. Barashin can then tell you where to find our wayward Onodrim. Okay. So we're going to be heading over to this camp. Barashin's camp. Did I unlock that one?
How can I be of service?
I did. So let me just jump over there real quick. So that we can find out that we're underleveled for chapter 7. The elves do not guard the road well enough. The wild encroaches on all sides. Dwarf throwing a little shade. Let's see. I've long believed that the Onodrim of legend have walked among the wooded areas of the Trollshaws, but I've never seen one for myself until now. As I climb the high moor toward Imladris, I don't know why I have trouble saying that word, to bear messages from Roshwin and Alflame, a curious mood took hold of me. I strayed from my path, walking south down a great slope into the Valley of the Giants. From a great distance, I beheld one of the Onodrim standing like a mighty tree, its leaves turning to red. As I watched, it turned and slowly moved behind a great boulder and was lost to my view. Be careful on your journey, for the giants of that valley are formidable, and speak with this Onod. He may know the location of the Nazgul Eladan seeks. Okay. Find the Onod. Where are we looking? Oh, way over there in Giant Valley. Okay. That's the stable master. Can we get there from here?
How can I be of service?
Boo. I mean, we can get to Rivendell and then... Oh, wait, I said it's the scout camp. I'm sorry, yes. I was looking for stable master, and that's stupid because they're all stable masters. We went scout camp. I like the idea of these camps, like,
Greetings, friends.
again, you know, on the fringes. The front lines. Whoops, I didn't mean to buy that. I wonder if there's any point to this. Let me, nope, I'm good there. Let me just see what happens. Character, where's this? It's just something that, Yeah, I can't tell. Anyway. So yeah, so I just need to go sort of over the hill. I think you can follow up the road and there's another path that cuts over into the giant valley. But I think what I'll do is I'll stop there for right now. This will be sort of part 1 of the stream. And yeah, again, the rest I'll probably have to record in chunks. I don't know if I'll get another chance to stream like I did tonight on Twitch. So I'll probably put those chunks together and then, well, 3 hours though is pretty good. Maybe I should just make this part. That's what I'll do. And then I'll pick this up again another time. So yeah, for the people that jumped in, thank you very much. I appreciate it. If you don't know what Blacklatch Trivia Night is, we mainly focus on trying to get tabletop RPGs done. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. The one we're working on now, if you know, it's a system called Mithras Imperative by the Design Mechanism. Mithras is a sort of BRP D100 inspired system. It came from like RuneQuest. That's sort of the path it took to get to where it is now. And yeah, we're using sort of the free, more generic open license part of the rule set, Mithras Imperative, to try doing a Cold War espionage game. Now, when I say that, I don't mean like Cold War espionage Cthulhu or anything like. It's just straight Cold War espionage. So we're trying to give that a shot. We made the characters. That session went up on the channel, so you can watch that. We're going to be recording the next one in a couple of days, where we actually kick off the story. It's not just character creation, but that's what our main thing is. We also do some computer role-playing game stuff. Obviously, I'm doing this. I've been doing some Dragon's Dogma 2. We've got a bunch of the Souls games up. I did a bunch of the classic Darklands. There's like 16 or 17 sessions up of that if you want to see how that game works a little bit. But otherwise, we appreciate it. If you want, you can jump into our Discord. We're trying to get some games scheduled there, trying to get, it's not like there's like a million of us, but, the people that are there, we try and sort of get linked up if they want to get a online tabletop game going. But otherwise, yeah, again, a lot of our stuff's on YouTube if you want to like and subscribe over there. We try and get some stuff up here on Twitch when we can, but otherwise, so thank you for everybody who jumped in. I'm going to be signing off for now, and yeah, thank you, and take care.